And we are live, everybody. This is a lie. It says Aaron the Dog is here, but this is definitely not an Aaron the Dog card. This is very much an Aaron the Pup card, if there's ever been one. If you came to hear raving reviews of this week's amazing card, you're in the wrong place. We're all here for Marcin Tybura, Serghei Spivac, number 2. Tybura has a great haircut. He also has, Denise Nuts and Nick Alexander from Australia making his way onto the show. Good morning, Nick. But before we get any further into this incredible breakdown tonight, let's get with the best panel in the MMA breakdown game. Starting out first tonight, Lou Betcha first to the panel tonight. How you doing?
It's going to be a real meat grinder, and I'm here for it. Maybe I should do this in honor of Lucky, because he's the best. I should just put that up right there.
Thank you.
Just because that's a solid background. I have nothing. I'm just ready to do stuff on this card.
Yeah, Dove Club suckers in the house. I hope I can get that partnership. Just my 2 cents. You were second, which makes you the best to the panel. Looks like Tybura and Spivac are about to kiss in your picture.
They're getting real close, boys. I mean, they are just about nose tip to nose tip. But what's up, man? Aaron, as always, thank you for having me. Great to be back. Shout out to you boys on panel. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure y'all smash the like button for Aaron. This is a card, and I am here for it, and that's all I got. Great to see you, though, boys.
We're bearing the lead, but I'll go to Lucky Locks for this part. Happy UFC Kwang Lee main card week, Lucky. How excited are you for finally the debut of, I think, the best fighter in LFA history, maybe in regional MMA history, in Kwang Lee. Kwang Lee era.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What a debut, man. What a card. Almost called in sick for this one, but I was like, nah, I mean, we can do it. At least it'll be short, right? We'll be in and out of there, no problem. So, yeah, I mean, usually I'm the guy that's like, come on, guys, this is a pretty good card. But, I mean, this one, it kind of is what it is. I don't know if I can really fluff this one up at all. I think the cat's kind of out of the bag with the caliber of this one here. But I'm excited, as always, to chop it up with you guys.
Yeah, this will last longer than a lot of the breakdowns tonight. Yeah, this is one of the cards of the year. I agree. And this is Aaron the Embryo is in the house. Without any further ado, we're all ready for Talita Alencar. We're all ready for Stephanie Luciano. Am I right? Yes, I'm right. It's a strawweight fight here. Talita Alencar. These two fought to an incredible draw on the Contender Series. We all remember this. And Alencar got into the UFC. She had an unforgettable win in a split decision over Ryan Amanda. That was a fight. I think everybody was on Ryan Amanda before that fight. It was incredible, the amount of love on her. With Alencar, she's good at jiu-jitsu and a jiu-jitsu competition. In MMA, I'm not quite sure if she's going to be the better MMA fighter. Stephanie Luciano just has to kind of avoid the grappling realm, and otherwise it's going to be one-way traffic. I'll go with Stephanie Luciano. I think that she could even kind of control her by the third round if she has to, but let's hope for a coin flip. I do agree with Zach here. Lucky, or Lou. I'm sorry, I'm not used to you being – I'm used to Lucky showing up first. So, Lou, what's your thoughts on this one?
Can't all be unprofessional like Lucky. What can I say?
We can't. Thank God. We got some professionalism in here, backwards hat.
I mean, this is one of the few fights I kind of don't hate, because at least, I'm excited to see if Luciano, comes in guns a-blazing. The under is plus 200, and I typically don't like this in this kind of low-level fight, but I mean, if she can stop any takedowns, I think she's going to knock Alencar out. And I think Alencar does have submission equity. The big difference between the last fight and this one is that the judging has become a lot harder on damage and just control. So I don't know that Alencar can just get away with getting takedowns unless it's just 5 minutes of control. We have another fight coming up that's going to be like that too. But I kind of think Luciano, I mean, if all she's been doing is training to stop these takedowns, Alan Carr is so one-dimensional that I do think Luciano can do a lot of damage. And I see Mick's got a round 3 Luciano play. I really don't hate that at all.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, especially with free bet. And I just want to point out, very funny comment from Zach Johnson. I'm going to bring it up one more time. Luke, who decided to actually show up. Of course, Lou wasn't going to miss the big cards. It's only the small cards, not these huge ones like Tybura, Serghei Spivac too. Lucky. And you know I love you, Lou, so don't get all upset with me. I always appreciate you making the time. Lucky.
I'm taking it out on Zach. That's it.
That's fine. I'm always okay with that. I always attack Zach. Lucky.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much in complete agreement with Lou here. You know, Contender Series rematch. I picked Alan Carr in the original matchup, and you could just feel her grip on that fight loosening as it progressed. Not really a great look coming into this one. Luciano, obviously, you know, she's younger, probably making larger strides as a fighter. I think Alan Carr is going to be improving a little bit as well. Just, you know, she's not young for fighting, but she is relatively new to the sport, coming from a grappling background. So I do expect her to look a little bit improved as well. I just think that the larger strides are going to be made on the Luciano side. I think Luciano is more well-rounded. You know, she was able to survive last time without being submitted. I just think, you know, I completely agree with what Lou said. And, you know, I think her confidence is high, and I think it's going to translate into a win here.
Yep, fair enough. And 2 cents. I know that you like to go against the grain, so I'm going to predict that there's no coin here. You got to pick.
So shout out to the 10 people watching. Smash the like button. So, boys, there are some fights where I decide to make a pick. And then there are some fights where I decide to let the coin pick. And then there are some fights that it seems just pick the coin. Like, it seems like this fight just like it was just like predetermined. So it has all the criteria. They literally fought to a fucking draw in the first one. So that's what time it is. Get your fucking popcorn out, spark up a bowl, crack open a cold one, because the place is here and the time is now. The coin will speak.
Oh, this is a big spot for Alan. If the coin goes Alan Carr here, we have some real problems, because I was considering Luciano for the Zhongli.
The question is, oh man, Mushroom's here. His ears must have been burning. Mushroom, it's your time for your favorite segment, Bobo. The coin will speak. I have no idea. I have no bet. So let's just see what happens here. Now, the question is, who do I make heads? I'll say that because Alan Carr won the first 2 rounds, I will make her heads, and I will make Luciano tails. But here we go. The coin will speak. Smash the like button for Aaron.
I hope it lands on its edge, dude. I really hope the coin just.
That was a mighty flip, dude, but I barely caught it. So here we go.
It still counts.
It is Toledo fucking Alan Carr, dude. That's what the coin says. That will be my pick. Smash the like button.
That is unfortunate for us all. Toledo Alan Carr is the side. So, yeah, I'll have to think about it. We are going to develop the Zhongli as we go tonight, because that's what kind of card this is. Alan Carr plus 140 currently, minus 165, minus 260 to over 2.5. So, expecting a lot of action in this one. Yeah, you got to go with the coins. So that's a plus 140 coin spot there. So, yeah, we'll move on. That's more than enough time on that straw weight. One of the best fights on the card. I don't know. Is this the order of the card right now, or is Tapology just wrong? Either way, I don't.
It's updated. They said Chepe is the co-main event. Everything else is right, or has been.
So Jarno, Aarons, and Yusef Salal is the second fight of the night.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing.
Okay, yeah. So they don't know what they're doing. Either way, yeah. I mean, let's just get the elephant out of the room here. Yusef Salal is minus 460. There's no world where you can trust a minus 460 Yusef Zalal. Honestly, at this point, I don't have any investment on Zalal. I should have had it earlier in the week when there was some, numbers worth maybe parlaying here. Plus 350 on Aaron. I mean, I think that he's definitely live at this number. Am I betting it? Probably not. I'm doing the dreaded dogger pass here, but I don't want anything to do with this number for Zalal. I get it. He's been finishing at a high rate lately, so maybe thinking about that. But Aaron's isn't that bad, honestly. I think he's pretty sharp technically. I don't trust that he's going to continue not to take advantage of USADA. And like Zalal is just like a guy who looks great until he doesn't to me. And like I'm not convinced that this is like second coming of Zalal is worth the shot at all. I think it probably ends in a split decision here. So if it ends in a split, might be something I could consider getting behind here. I just feel like Aaron's always fights just close enough, but won't ever be able to win. But at the same point, Zalal on that super sold on still. So yeah, pass here. Split decision for Yusuf Zalal because maybe I'd put him in the Zhang Li if I get really desperate. Lucky.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, man. It's a wide line. Aaron's is not really that good, but Zalal isn't really some killer either. You know, he's been cut from the organization before after going through a rough spell where he was 0-3-1 over 4 fights. Of course, he started the UFC career 3-0, and he looked good in his last fight. I feel like that's where a lot of the tax on this line is coming from. But yeah, you know, like a fight where I feel like it should be a slight to moderate favorite, he's a huge favorite. I mean, it's not like I'm interested in betting Aaron's either. You know, he's less UFC experience, lower level of competition. Stephen Wynn is his best win. I think the striking could be close. Zalal obviously has the ability to go to the grappling, which Aaron's does not have. And, you know, Aaron's has been taken down, and all of his UFC fights hasn't displayed much ability to stop that from happening. So for me to want to side with him, I'd have to think he was like a far superior striker to Zalal, which I don't think he is. So I'm going to pick Yusuf Zalal, but, you know, obviously, very predictably, I will not be betting minus 460.
Yeah. Very, very good, wise call. This is not Lucky's single bet of the week. The 5 units on the 460 Zalal. Well, that would be so awesome. If he's like, I have one bet this weekend, boys. It's minus 460 Zalal, 7 units. Let's move on. 2 cents. What do you think of this one?
So
sorry, what am I supposed to say? Subhuman Gaucho?
God, he Gaucho making the rounds again. What's up, man?
Like, what the fuck do you want me to say? It's minus 460 Zalal. Is it not? Or is that not wide? Is that accurate? What does a minus 460 Zalal performance look like? I don't even know.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to be he's going to have to stretch that much to take care of Jarno Aarons, though. That's the thing. It's like, if it was against a better fighter, it's like, yeah, but like, I feel like if I was to try and say that shit, I'd be saying the same thing I did when I tried to fade Zalal against Billy Quarantillo. Like, yeah, Billy Q, like his durability starting to go, but he's a fucking better fighter than Jarno Aarons to me. So I don't know, man. I think Zalal cleans him up. I actually do believe in this new version of Zalal. Like, it'd be different too if it wasn't like, if he was emerging in this second run and he was like in his mid-30s, but he's fucking 27. I think he's coming into his prime. I think Jarno Aarons is kind of a fucking jobber, and I think this version of Zalal fucking whoops his ass. But I do have him parlayed, so please win Zalal. But yeah, I think he fucking takes care of Aarons.
I mean, I got Yusuf Zalal at minus 300 with Carol Rosa in a parlay early in the week, and I guess I should be very excited. I got him at minus 300.
Well, I can't say that it's not wide, but I also think he fucking covers it. That's
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, let's see. Zalal is good all the way up to minus 482. Lou, do you agree with Bo Jackson on that astute analysis?
I mean, I'm giving Aarons a little more credit than I think other people are. Like, he's super durable. Like, I don't like the finisher at all. Aarons is very durable, dude. I mean, he'd get subbed, I guess. He's never getting KO'd. Like, I don't think the KO is in play for Zalal here. I do think the sub, I guess, is possible. But this is like, here, I'll use a different term for my buddy Gaucho in the chat. Aarons feels like a value loser this week. Or like, he's going to lose it. You like the split decision. You know what the problem is? We see this every week. We're going to think this is a very clear, he lost 29-28. And if you took the plus 3.5, you feel good. And then one asshole will give it 30-20. It's going to be 130-27, 229-28, and the 3.5 loses. I think Aarons will be competitive. I think, Lucky, you know, on the feet, he said, I think the boxing's actually super competitive. It's just that glaring hole in Aarons' game where not only does he get taken down, his get-ups are bad. So I think Zalal will get the takedown in every single round. And
I just want to say this, and we can move on from this fight. Jarno Aarons has like UFC embeddeds on YouTube. Have you ever seen these? Like, he has a ton of them too. He has like, they've really invested a large team in this man who's about to go 0-3 in the UFC, and that's okay. Just saying, Jarno Aarons wins the media team. I hope that Macy Barber's in the corner for Yusuf Zalal. But either way, yeah, the over 2.5 is at -240. So I see a lot of people are like calling for this finishing streak to continue for Zalal. But yeah, I don't really see it. But the plus 180 on the under 2.5, maybe not a bad spot either. So plus 350 to Jarno here. And yeah, well, to be determined if we get desperate enough for Yusuf in the Zhongli. All right, next fight. This order makes no sense to me, but whatever. We'll keep it going. The most exciting heavyweight in the game, Carl Williams, taking on Janata Deniz. This is, I think, what they call a wrestler versus a striker matchup. Can Deniz stop the takedowns? If he does, he probably is going to beat up Carl Williams for a while until Carl Williams gets knocked out. Deniz, I'm not sure if he can, but I feel like Deniz is also the type of fighter who I don't see him knocking out Carl Williams with kind of one shot. Maybe I'm going to look very bad on that by next week. But either way, I feel like Deniz is going to have enough moments in this fight that I don't feel like it's impossible for him to win a decision against Carl Williams. I wouldn't pick that. I hope he knocks him out. But after all said and done, I can't really get past probably a wrestling control type of decision for Carl Williams. And probably 29-28, where Deniz gets some shots off in one of these rounds, but not enough to get him through. So I'll take Williams by decision, but it could be a damage and control situation like a lot of fights on this card. 2 cents. I know this is one of your favorite dogs, or maybe your only dog of the week. I'm not sure. But I do know that you're a fan of Deniz, convinced
Well,
me.
God, spoil it for me. God, don't even let me fucking build it. No, it's fine. Yeah, I'm on Deniz. It's not a secret, man. Most people know at this point. But yeah, it is striker versus grappler, and I agree with a lot of what you said. Like, Tafa was hurting him. Deniz pretty much hits, like, just as hard as Tafa to me from what I've seen. There's no way to know that, but, like, he hits pretty fucking hard, and I think he might be a little bit faster, but I know his reach is longer than Tafa, so I think he's going to be getting to the punch a little quicker. Like, if Williams can't get the takedowns consistently, he might take him down and just control him for the rest of the round, like Austin Lane did. But Williams has shown me consistently that he's just a fucking decisionator. I think Deniz is going to fucking starch this dude. So, yeah, give me Deniz. It's striker versus grappler. It's going to be a boring-ass Williams decision or just a fucking devastating Jonata KO. So give me the fucking ladder and let me see Carl Williams' head just fucking fly into the stands.
Yeah. Carl Williams, I see Carl Williams by decision at plus 200 right now, Mick. So
I don't hate that.
Yeah. Lou.
Well, I mean, you told me, it's not racist to bet against Carl Williams, so I'm also going to pick Deniz. There's a couple things I've noticed about Williams that I don't like. First of all, as far as the Austin Lane takedown went, I think that was more just he shocked Deniz. It wasn't his game plan. He kind of just blitzed him and double-legged him, and Deniz never got up. Carl Williams, man, first of all, he's kind of an undersized heavyweight. Secondly, I don't think his top control is very good. Tafa's get-up game is bad, and he was able to free himself. Lucas Bresky's get-up game is bad. He was able to free himself. Deniz has been preparing for this to know what's coming. You know what's going to stop Williams that Austin Lane doesn't offer? The leg kicks. Or that a lot of guys Williams has faced, like Bresky. Deniz is going to go for leg kicks, and that's going to at least shut down some of these entries from Williams. That double, the blast double that he has. If Deniz is kicking that leg, I don't know that Williams is going to be so eager to go in for it. And the one thing, and Glenbot made he talked about a prop that I think is really interesting. We really haven't seen evidence that Williams has a lack of durability. I don't think Deniz's decision is really that crazy at all.
I think Vegas is on. It's at plus 475. They're onto it. I was shocked.
I don't think it's a crazy thing. I mean, he could land if he lands damage, I mean, Williams could just get him against the cage going for a takedown.
Yeah,
and just stall.
Yeah, I not to mention if you watch, I don't like judging how they're going to fight in MMA by their kickboxing, but a lot of Denise's fights aren't being finished by KO. He does go to this. He kind of is an attritional striker in a lot of ways. So, I mean, Williams hasn't shown that lack of durability. I agree. So I don't hate the decision shot either at all. And especially with just a few damaging moments in a round will beat out 3 minutes of top control with no strikes.
Also, Jimmy Lawson sucks. I had to get that out.
Oh my God, terrible! Absolutely,
the worst. Everyone that Carl Williams has beaten fucking sucks. They're all jobbers, dude, and he can't put any of them away. I don't like.
Not allowed at Penn State ever again.
All right, Lucky, talk me into putting Denise in the Zhang Li.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I laid big chalk on Williams to beat Breshke. I was rewarded there. I'm not going to be laying big chalk on him to beat Denise. I still think he's probably going to win. Denise is a good kickboxer. He comes from Glory. And Williams, his striking and just his overall game has looked a little bit better than it is as a consequence of two things, in my opinion. First thing is the competition. You guys mentioned it. It's been really low level. If you had told me 3 years ago in 2021 that in 2024, Carl Williams would, 1, be in the UFC, I would have laughed in your face. 2, be 3-0 in the UFC. I don't even know how we got into this timeline, but here we are. And then, the second thing that I think Lou brought up, this guy is a 205er naturally, right? He came onto the Contender Series at short notice at heavyweight and won. And was like, whoa, these guys. I mean, ironically, he was fighting Jimmy Lawson, who's a wrestler, but, he thought to himself, these heavyweights can't wrestle at all. So I'm just going to stay here and just topple these guys over. And, as a consequence of him being a little smaller, he's fast, right? He is fast, and he's a good wrestler. And, that can work wonders at this weight class. And I think the speed is going to be enough to get in on the hips of Denise. The interim moments obviously are going to be dangerous. And listen, I mean, hopefully Denise wins because Williams is so boring, man. It's so boring to watch. But I think, his speed probably gets him in on the hips, and he probably wins.
All right. Well, I didn't hear anything because, you know what? I don't really care. Denise is currently in the Zhang Li plus 180 because we got to get to that 4-digit number somewhere somehow. And I was at plus 700 before that. So I feel that the number does justify it. So we are taking the shot on Denise. My official pick will be Denise by decision but I don't have the guts to bet it. But I was expecting it to be a much higher number than plus 475.
Nah, dude, I'll give you credit. You'll be kicking yourself if he wins the decision, but I'll definitely give you credit for calling that because it's everyone's saying either Denise KO or Williams decision.
Yeah, so we shall see. But yeah, plus 180. I don't think it's a terrible shot either way. And yeah, Jimmy Lawson, absolutely terrible. In case you aren't familiar, go and watch some Jimmy Lawson losses. But gonna move on to the next fight. Honestly, those are 3 of the better fights on the card. These next 3 will be quick. Karol Rosa, Pannie Kianzad. This is a fade on Pannie Kianzad. I don't know if her body is able to hold up to MMA at this point. I don't really know if there's going to be any danger on either one of these sides. It's definitely going to a decision. And I just think Karol Rosa is going to avoid getting Karol Rosa gets taken down by a slight breeze. We saw it before the UFC. We've seen it in the UFC. It's just she does put herself into positions to possibly lose minutes and rounds, but I don't really care. She's much better than Pannie Kianzad at this point. So, yeah, Karol Rosa wins a decision. I want to know if the coin's coming out, though. And we're going to find out last. Lou.
Yeah, I already had an argument with this fight on somebody on Twitter today.
I don't know. I won't be arguing with this fight a lot. It's just Rosa. It's a fade on Pannie.
Yeah, I'm never betting Pannie. She should be the underdog in every fight at this point in her career. And, I mean, Yeah, anybody with any grappling equity at all should easily be a minus 200 favorite by default over Pani. So, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Lucky.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people all week saying Kianzad is no good. I wholeheartedly agree. I will just add a little asterisk to say, I don't think Carol is very good either. When you look at her wins, she really hasn't beaten anybody impressive. She's a losing record over her last 5. I do, though, of course, think she is better than Pani Kianzad. I think she's a better MMA fighter everywhere. And I think she wins by decision. I really just, I'm sorry, I just don't care about this fight. That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah, 100% correct. Lucky or 2 cents. Do we see the coin for this one as well?
Oh man, what's up, Juan? I see you in the chat, dude. I'm sorry, man. I want to bust out the coin for this one, but I can't, boys. I want to fucking fade Carol Hosa so bad, but I kind of did. I got to pick Hosa here. I just think she's gonna win by having the slightly higher output and just doing that. I don't know. I just see a Carol Hosa unanimous decision.
Yeah, let's just move on. Minus 220 on Carol. Minus 500. We did it, boys, on the over 2.5. So that is, I mean, if that's not a recipe for a fight of the night, I don't know what is. We're gonna move on to, oh man, my second favorite fight of the night. Charlampoulos Grigoro taking on Toshiomi Kazama. Yeah, that guy who got very, very knocked out very hard by Rinat, got knocked out. Rinya got knocked out hard by Garrett Armfield, and now he's probably going to get knocked out hard by Charlampoulos as well. Charlampoulos got onto the UFC run by beating the great Cameron Smotherman, who's going to talk his way into a UFC contract. I can see it now over in Fury. But after the first, round or so, first like 3 to 4 minutes, I don't know about Charlampoulos and if, Kazama can kind of get the grappling going and kind of make him work and tire him out and use that alleged Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu grappling game he has. But, yeah, I just don't think Charlampoulos is very good. I'm not betting either one of these fighters ever. Probably goes to a decision once again. But I'm going to take a shot on, Mr. Kazama at plus 210. Not betting him at all, but I think he can win a decision over Charlampoulos. I think he can take 2 or 3 rounds. I think he has better cardio, and I just don't think Riguro is like this unstoppable killer. So if Kazama survives 3 minutes, I like his chances to get a scrappy decision. So give me Kazama. I'm not betting it, and I don't really care about this fight. Lucky.
Yeah, Grigoriou was like, he was that guy on the CFFC cards where he was like a slight dog or a slight fave to some like Uber Eats delivery driver, and then you would jam him in that spot. Like that's kind of where a lot of the value on his fights were at. For me personally, he was a little bit better than he looked on the regionals, and he had a horrible record back. I mean, it's not great now, but it was really bad back then, and you could get him at a good price against complete nobodies on the regionals. He slows down in his fights. He's got big power early. He doesn't really maintain it much. Kazama, I don't think is very good at all. He's been knocked out in round 1 in both of his UFC fights. Armfield and Nakamura, I mean, fair enough, but I will mention he's the only guy Armfield's knocked out since the regionals. He's the only guy Nakamura's knocked out since the regionals. And he enters the pocket like without the necessary defense. Like he just comes in ready to get sparked. I think this fight is pretty low level stuff. I think Kazama is just one of the lower tier fighters in the organization. I don't think Grigoriou is that good either, but I do think he's good enough to spark him in the pocket.
Fair enough. I'm sure you mean Kazama, but no, I'm kidding. Grigoriou knockout for Lucky. 2 cents. Join me on Kazama Island.
Dude, I want to, brother. I want to paddle that damn canoe right up to fucking Kazama Island because, the knee-jerk reaction, the first thing I think of is, probably Charlampoulos starches him. But I can see him just, ducking under a right hand, getting a body lock, taking the back. Mm-hmm. I think if he gets on fucking Charlampoulos' back, he's getting choked. But I don't know, man. I don't have the balls to do it. Fuck. I really want to pick Kazama. I think Charles Lampos probably clips him. I just don't think he has a good chin. Like, he doesn't have a good defense, but he just doesn't respond well, like, to getting punched hard. And I think Charles Lampos can do that early, but I can't bet him at chalk, man. I think Kazama does have a chance to fucking submit him. So I will pass for that reason. But yeah, give me the Greek here.
All right. New gloves are going to protect Kazama. He's never been knocked out with these new gloves, which remember they're non-lethal. Don't let anybody trick you. Lou, join me.
I mean, I'm gonna deadlock the panel, but that's not my preferred bet because I actually like the over 1.5 here. I mean, I get it with Kazama.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say that Grigoru? And by the way, Charles Lampos, tremendous name. Who's to say that Grigoru doesn't wrestle here? Does he really have good fight IQ? He is a grappler. Who's to say this doesn't become a grindy grappling match like early? And if it does, I mean, I think the over certainly correlates with Kazama, but then it's still Kazama. And like, I don't know, Grigoru, that the cardio, the bad cardio against Chad and Helliger, just like, I can't, like, as bad as Kazama is, he has a very clear way to sap this dude's cardio. Like, how is Gregorio even at a Serra gym with like that lack of cardio? Like, I'm amazed they let him there, man.
Yep.
But I like the over more than I like anything else because I don't.
Minus 140. I don't hate that.
But I feel like this is a grindy grappling match, and I will deadlock the panel because I just don't think Grigoru can justify a minus 2xx price over anyone.
Yep. I completely agree. Plus 210 to Kazama, minus 140 on the over 1.5. Yeah, we're going to move on to the next fight that I don't have very nice things to say about. It's the lead off of the main card. It's at featherweight at 135. So I don't know what that really means, but Yana Santos, Chelsea Chandler here. I mean, Yana Santos, not very good and not getting any younger, losing like her last few to a decent level of competition. But at the same point, I feel like she just kind of leaves herself often in compromising positions to get beat up against the cage, especially. It feels like she's a little passive at times. I think Chelsea Chandler is going to be the more aggressive of the two in this spot, but at the same point, this is about as low level as it gets. And it's on a main card here. She has a win over Josiah Nunez, who, okay, like I don't know. I think Chandler crowds her, uses the volume and crowds the cage and gets a decision, but I don't really care about this fight. The closer I've gotten to it, the less I've been interested in wanting a side. Just my coin sense.
It probably does deserve the coin, don't it? I honestly I haven't made up my mind. I know Joey's on Chelsea Chandler. Like, I'm rooting for Chelsea Chandler backer. She seems to be a very popular underdog this week, and I get it, man. Like, she didn't lose to Stoliarenko. She smashed her fucking face in. I don't know, man, but this could be Santos version 2.0. I get
saying this though because of a picture on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Just this picture of her hips on Twitter and like sweated it up. That
I haven't really once said that I think that Santos is going to win this fight. I'm just not a huge like Chelsea Chandler dude. I can't fucking do it, man. It just wouldn't feel right. I'm picking Chelsea Chandler.
Me too.
I can't get with Yana Santos, Yana Kunitz guy. I know that's who you are. No, I'm just kidding. She's Santos's husband. But yeah, I don't think the Maheta anything is transferred over. There was no like osmosis of fucking power.
When is that ever? Yeah, I don't care about that. I don't care about this picture where she's new done at 35 years old.
Dude, if Chandler takes her down and gets on top of her, she's gonna get fucking.
I think Chandler makes it a dog fight and dirty and wins a decision because Yana kind of, if a fighter's more aggressive, she tends to give into that.
I think Chandler's just going to be a little bit more violent and aggressive. So yeah, give me Chandler here. I think she probably takes her down, and gets her out of there.
Yeah, Luke.
Time for Santos 2.0, bitches. Every week we get that super public dog that everybody bets and everybody's wrong, and it's Chelsea Chandler this week. I don't know that Chelsea Chandler is going to go for takedowns. I think skill for skill. I don't think Santos is like elite. Skill for skill. Chandler has no skill set except flailing her arms and calling them like martial arts. She's gamer, but she stinks. And I think if this thing just stays on the feet, I think Santos is an actual better striker. Now, she's not a high volume striker. She's a better striker. She certainly has better wins. You know, the one thing she said is this is her first fight in like a couple of years where she's not breastfeeding, which is both interesting and pseudo-erotic at the same time. But if she's actually like had a full camp and cares, I just think she's way more skilled here. Chelsea Chandler is terrible. Like, and she barely won that Nunez fight. I mean, so I don't know. I'm giving Santos. I think everybody is like, I don't know, man. It's like honestly, this reminds me of the Bedoya fight last week, where everybody's like, oh, it's Bedoya, and like, just because it's Jai Herbert stinks, and it's like, I don't know. So
I wasn't on Bedoya, to be fair, but that's
no, but I mean that kind of like
I get what you're
everybody
saying.
like is on it, and the line starts moving, and I'm like, So
fair enough. All right, Lucky.
Yeah, I don't really have a ton to add. Santos jumped on the gear. She's very experienced. Hasn't really had a great run in the UFC. She's been out of action for a year, lost 3 in a row. Chandler has been obviously a lot more active in the promotion lately. She fought 3 times in Santos' last fight. Chandler obviously not much MMA experience. I mean, she has 8 fights. I get why Santos is the favorite. I think Chandler could have some grappling upside, like you guys touched on. I'm not sure I'd really want to lay juice on Yana at this point, or ever. Really, I think probably she's a bit washed. She hasn't won a fight in 3 years. But then Chelsea Chandler is, like Lou said, she just isn't good. Like there's not something other than pure physicality where I'm like, oh yeah, that's what she can do. Like if they're boxing, I don't think she's winning that. I think she could get on top and win. Just because I would never lay juice on Santos though, so I guess I'll lean the Chandler side as a dog here. But this just I don't want to be involved on this fight in any capacity.
This right here makes me want to pick Santos more than anything you just said. 77% of Tapology's on Chelsea Chandler.
It's just like a mass Yana fade. It's got to be. Like, and that's kind of what I'm doing too. To be fair, it's just that's weird.
Yep, I'm staying away from this shit. All right, moving on to the next one. This card is as bad as I thought it would be, but I'm having a good time talking about it. We alluded to it at the beginning of the show. It's the Kwang Lee era, everybody. Yes, he's undefeated, but go and watch his fights in the LFA, and if you feel he should be here, that's fine. On short notice, against Chris Gutierrez, just only in UFC 2024 does this happen. I think Chris Gutierrez cooks him. I hope it's a first-round knockout, personally. I think that Kwang Lee is that bad that he's going to make Chris Gutierrez look really good. Possible wheel kick KO for Chris Gutierrez. Round 1 KO. This is going to be a meme fight. And Kwang Lee will be fighting on the first fight of the card in his next fight. This is an absolute joke of a signing. Terrible signing by the UFC. Good job. Really pumped for this one. Lou.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a leg kick KO, if not, what you just said. This guy, I'm trying to think of what, and he's no relation to Zhang Li, correct?
No, I will check with Zhang, but this is a different spelling, so no. Kwang and Zhang are not related.
He's a boxer.
Allegedly.
And he's very heavy on his lead leg.
Yes.
And this is probably the worst guy to be heavy on your lead leg against. So this just seems like he's gonna it's leg kick, and then his leg's done. And if he doesn't get leg kick TKO'd, he will get just smashed in the face when he's trying to block every leg kick. So I think Gutierrez gets it. The side. I want the side of the coin. Just once. Like side boob.
This card may be terrible, but this chat has been amazing. So
Fire.
Both.
Lucky. Are you ready for the Kwong Lee era?
Yeah, you totally covered it, man. I was a little disappointed because he was supposed to be on Contender Series fighting this guy from New Zealand. And I was looking ahead at the cards, and everybody on Tapology was picking him to win that fight. And I was like, wow, this could be a big opportunity.
Johan Lioness.
I might just retire after that Contender Series event, and you would never see me again. But yeah, I mean, you completely covered it, man. I really don't think he's good at all. He hasn't beaten anybody. The Sal Guerrero fight, I thought he lost that fight. I also bet against him there, so maybe I was a little biased. But I thought he lost that one. He got controlled for a lot of that fight. I think Chris Gutierrez is on a vastly different level. And when he was like minus 350, I was planning on coming on here and saying, feel free to parlay him up, do whatever. He's minus 600 now. It's probably deserved. Kwong Lee, I really don't think he's good. That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
worse guys than Chris Gutierrez could tune him up.
Yeah, and like I was talking about earlier, how does Youssef Salah look like minus 600? I do see Gutierrez looking like this is going to be an absolute wash of a fight. I hope he absolutely embarrasses Kwong Lee too. He should not be here. This is an irresponsible signing by the UFC, but whatever. They're hoping if he can win, they can get to the Vietnam market, I guess. Going to our Vietnam MMA expert, just my 2 cents.
Yeah, what y'all said.
Thank you very much. We'll move on. Nearly minus 600, and justified. But yeah, I'm not going to put him in the Zhang Li just because I can't do that. But all right, next fight. I think this is one of the best fights on the card. Another short-nosed replacement, Nikolai Ventrinikov. However you say that, Nikolai, Eastern European last name as fuck. Danny Barlow, left hand to God, broke his right hand in his last fight. Other notables, he has very good power as well. I think this is going to be an interesting fight. I think that Danny Barlow's shown a ton of promise for sure. I do think that Nikolai Ventrinikov is being kind of undervalued here a little bit. Went to a decision with Michael Morales. He's very, very tough. Has been knocked out once in his career. I do think he can, kind of make this fight a little more challenging, a little more dirty. I think there could be, some kind of sweaty spots here. I still do, trust in the power of Danny Barlow. I think he gets it done somewhere probably in the second round, but I don't know. I've been getting a little more nervous about this fight as it's gotten a little closer. And I'm just not, there's a lot to like with Danny Barlow, but there's also, I think, some concerns with this matchup. And I don't think Nikolai is as bad as some people seem to have counted in. And this line makes me nervous. So, Lucky, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, Barlow needs to work on the grappling, but he's got lethal power, and he's got great offensive IQ, to be honest, in the stand-up, in my opinion. And I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with the guy. I didn't really know what he was going to look like coming up against, a little bit tougher competition after seeing him on the regionals. But I was pretty impressed, honestly. I think he's pretty good. He's got the full camp here. Veretennikov is pretty good. LFA legend, Fury FC legend. He, I just don't think he's quite as special on the feet. I don't think he really has the grappling to win a decision like just off wrestling either. I see him kind of as one of those guys who, he can win at a high clip on the regional level. I don't know if he really has the stuff to do it in the big shows. And he's not like he's super bad at any one thing. He's just not really special anywhere. I feel like Danny Barlow is just a better fighter than him. He's got that thing, and Veretennikov doesn't have it, in my opinion.
Fair enough. 2 cents.
Yeah, so I watched a little bit of tape on Nikolai. Yeah, Veretinikov. I will trust Lucky's pronunciation, Veretinikov. I don't think he's bad. I think he's going to keep Barlow honest early, like in the first round, and I think Danny probably chins him in the second or third.
All right. And Lou, bet you.
Yeah, if Nikolai was coming in with a little more time and I could trust his cardio a little more to maybe extend it through grappling, I may even take a look at him here, but I don't know how much grappling he's really going to want to do with the short notice. And if it's just stand up, I mean, Barlow, he's not, I know he's a left-handed guy, but I don't think his boxing is one-dimensional, and he does have a death touch. So, yeah, I mean, I see Quinn only saying Barlow decision. I don't really hate that either. Like, I feel like everybody might be on the KO here, but he can win a decision. You know, he's not super high volume. I think Nikolai, the worry about that is if Nikolai really slows down bad the third and he's just a sit and duck. But I think even if he is, he's probably going to try to grapple and at least burn time, like getting Barlow against the cage. So I think Barlow wins. God, I really don't want to do a round 3 decision bet. I fucking hate those. But, I mean, I feel like it's not early for Barlow. Like, if anything, it's going to be late or it's going to be a decision.
Yeah, minus 380, plus 300 on Nikolai. But, yeah, I'm just going to keep Danny in the Zhongli. I feel good enough about that to do that because this card, beggars cannot be choosers. Co-main event time, Chepe Mariscal versus Damian Jackson. Damian Jackson getting back in the win column with that split decision performance against Alexander Hernandez. I don't know if he really won that fight, but I did bet on him, so I'm not going to complain there. Chepe Mariscal, I thought it was kind of a joke when he got signed with the UFC on short notice, but look at him here, 3 straight wins. Trevor Peake, Jack Jenkins with that arm injury, and then Morgan Churi in the last fight, very, very close. And that one for me, and again, I'm not a big Chepe Mariscal fan. I do think the Chepe Mariscal fade is coming. I just don't think it's coming here with Damon Jackson. I think Damon Jackson's kind of done. And, you know, he had that performance against Pat Sabatini. We know the situation around that. I don't think that's something that's going to be replicated ever again in his career. I think that was kind of the last semblance there. The Hernandez fight, again, I'm glad I cashed there with him as a dog, but I don't think he really won that fight. So I think he's improved his cardio. So the thing, you know, I think this could go to a decision, but I do think Chepe Mariscal wins this fight. I wouldn't bet him at minus 240 at all. And yeah, not too interested in getting involved in this fight. Might have to be involved in the Zhongli. I'm hoping not. 2 cents. What's your thoughts on this one?
I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it again today. Dude, I have been trying to fade Chepe Mariscal since he got in the UFC, and it is fucking 0 for 3. Just fucking 3 strikes and you're out. Fucking fanning the place. Mm-hmm. I'm picking him to win here. If he fucking loses this fight, I am never, and I mean ever, picking Chepe Mariscal again. I will leave it blank on Tapology. I won't pick it in any contest. I just won't pick it because it doesn't matter. I'll just fucking get it wrong. So Chepe Mariscal, please win this fight. You're not a jobber. You're a good fighter. You can knock Damon Jackson out. He doesn't have a good chin. You're the better striker. Please fucking win.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way all the way around. Well said, 2 cents. Lou?
Yeah, the problem is that Chepe is not a guy who ever is going to cover a minus 2XX kind of spread. And let's be honest, man, hair plugs Damon Jackson is a mythical creature. Like doing his Zoolander blue steel pose and all these pictures now. I'm not really sure how Damon Jackson wins because Chepe's grappling's decent. His cardio is good. Like if this is a boxing match, I think Chepe is going to piece him up. If it's a grappling match, I don't think Jackson subs him, and I think he probably gasses late second and the whole third round. So, like, I mean, I don't feel great about it, but I think Chepe wins, and like his road to the title. But remember, he was supposed to face Dan Ige in this spot too. So
Right.
like, and I would have assumed that he would have beaten Ige by split decision, and there would have been scenes as his run to the title continues. But yeah, this is a pretty and I like Damon Jackson, and he's made me money as a dog. But I mean, I'm just not sure where he's like great.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Like, I don't want anything to do with him at this price tag, and I'm waiting for the Chepe fade, and I would be glad to have it happen anytime, even if I'm wrong, because I have nothing on this fight. Lucky.
This is a pass bet, and I just root for Damon Jackson. It's just one of those fights.
Agreed. Lucky.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big fight for me, guys, because I've had so much success with Damon Jackson over the years. I've been betting, picking, talking about fights publicly for about 4 years now. Never been wrong in a Damon Jackson fight. It's a lot on the line. I've been correct in all his fights and made good money. In his last fight, I bet him at the peak of his price at plus 180 against Hernandez.
That's
when
right.
a lot of people wrote him off. Last year when he fought Danny Ige, I bet Danny Ige at a short price there. He knocked him out. And I also bet him as an underdog against Kamuela Kirk, plus 127. He ended up closing minus 130 there. It seems like often they kind of get the line wrong on a lot of these Jackson fights. I love the guy. I think he's underrated. He's a good fighter. I'm not sure he can get it done this time. I would never bet this price on Chepe here. I do not think he is this much better than Jackson at all.
No.
I'm just not sure we're going to see Jackson come through as a big dog twice in a row here. He's the larger guy. He's the older guy as well. I think Chepe, is better standing. Lou talked about that. And those matchups are kind of tough for Jackson. You would expect the opposite to be the case because he has that like relentless grappling style in a lot of his fights. But most of his wins come over guys who are also grapplers. And most of his losses actually historically have come to strikers. The last fight he won against Hernandez. Obviously, Hernandez isn't really a grappler, but he also wasn't really good. So, he loses to a high-volume striker in Billy Q. Dan Ige, a powerful guy, beats him. And you had a 4-fight win streak against pretty much all grapplers, right? Sabatini, Argueta, Kirk, Charles Rosa. I think Jackson is going to have a tough time getting it going on the feet to where he can get the respect and positioning necessary to push the takedown game here. So I do think the line's wrong. Chepe is not this much better than him. I'm going to side with him. I'm happy to pass here. If Jackson wins, I'm going to be disappointed because it'll break my streak. But I am going to go Chepe, no action.
Chepe, no action, all the way around. Of the plus 190 here against Chepe is Damon Jackson. Crazy, but yeah, passing as well. All right, we're on to the long-awaited main event. Marcin Tybura, Serghei Spivac 2. Unforgettable first fight. Probably going to be an unforgettable second fight. I don't know how many Serghei Spivac and Marcin Tybura fights we're going to get, but I hope this is the final one. And in order for it to be the final one, we need Tybura to win. And in order for that to happen, I'm going to say it happens by a decision because, this fight's not going to end early. Let's be honest. This fight's going to go 15 rounds if it was 15 rounds. Like, these two are just going to lumber their way through the final few rounds. No lethal strikes after round 2.5, probably. So half this fight's going to be awful. I'm not going to be watching it live. I'm probably not going to watch it afterwards. My only bet might be to end the Zhang Li because Marcin Tybura could turn into a plus 1,900 Zhang Li. Convince me that Serghei Spivac, because he's younger, he's going to be much more polished, but I don't really buy that, and I don't really care. I'm going with Tybura by decision. Tell me I'm wrong, 2 cents.
You're wrong. I think Spivac gets his revenge, but it's not something that I can break down technically with X's and O's. I just think he's going to be a little bit younger. He's going to do a little bit more. I think he's a little bit more improved. Yeah. And I parlayed Spivac, so I'll either be a cautionary tale or I'll clean up there at the end. But yeah, give me Spivac. I think he gets his revenge here. But yeah, it's not something that I can give you some incredibly in-depth breakdown on. But yeah, give me the polar bear here.
Okay, well, congratulations because you got Zhang Li in the parlay now.
I love it.
So, Lou.
I got to go with my partner in the Dangerous Alliance here. And it's I don't know, man. And Tybura has been pretty good to me. But some of the bets that I won, it's Like I had Volkov against him, and Tybura just looked like awful. I had him against Romanov, and honestly, that fight either should have been a draw for 10-8 first, or it should have been stopped. And Romanov outstruck him like 28-0 in the first or something insane.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem with Tybura is like he has performances where he just looks mentally checked out. Spivac's, there's like a revenge factor for Spivac. He's a younger guy. His losses, I mean, look, when he's losing like the Cyril Gane fight. Yeah, he got his ass kicked, but like, I don't know. It's Cyril Gane. Like, he just outclassed him. I think Spivac here probably can throw harder if he gets top time. What, you don't think he throws harder than Tybura?
No.
He can't sustain it, but I think early he can.
No, I think Tybura throws harder.
I think it's about the same.
No, Tybura throws harder.
So I'm not betting this. I don't want to be back at this number.
Yeah.
But Tybura is another really public dog this week, and that scares me. But I'm going to pick Spivac to get the job done with a KO.
Yeah, fair enough. Lucky, am I on Tybura Island?
Hell, let's find out. Rematch from 4.5 years ago. Tybura won the original matchup. Similarly sized guys. Spivac, obviously, 10 years of youth on his side here. I think this matchup's close. Two guys who generally beat most heavyweights outside of the upper elite group. Each guy is 3-2 over the last 5. Tybura lost to Aspinall and Volkov. Spivac lost to Aspinall and Gane. Very easy money on Cyril Gane there. I bet him at -160. I bet him again at -175. I mean, those lines were pretty crazy, in my opinion. I think this is kind of a 50-50-ish fight on paper, and it opened up that way. I feel like the only real discernible advantage here goes to Spivac with the youth, but it also feels like Tybura is a bit of a better striker. He has, good takedown defense for the most part. Actually took Spivac down 2-0 in their first fight. And, Spivac is reliable to spam takedowns, but when you really look at the people he's getting down, I mean, it's kind of nobodies like Tuivasa, Carlos Felipe, Vandera, Greg Hardy, Sakai, Lewis has nothing in that regard. And then you got Gane and Aspinall were just a million times too athletic for him to do anything in the grappling. I'm not sure there's a whole ton of support for Serghei outside of the fact that he's younger. But, Spivac was the favorite in the original fight. Everybody thought he was going to win. Now it seems like everybody likes Tybura as the underdog. And the bookies are taking the action, and the line is widened for Spivac after a pick 'em open. Tybura, he's 38 now, closer to 39 than 38. And it feels like now people want to be on his side, after they liked Spivac the first time. It just makes me feel like Spivac probably is the side in this one. And, I've seen people saying, oh, well, 38, 39 isn't even that old at heavyweight. I mean, it's not terrible, but, like, it's old, right? Like, you're 2 years younger than Ryan Bader. Mm-hmm. You're older than Blagoy Ivanov. Like, you're not young, but it's not crazy old. I get it. So I guess I'll go with Spivac in this one. I mean, I don't want to bet it now at this number, but I feel like just the way the market's reacting here, I think it probably is a Spivac side here. But I mean, it's hard to really want to be enthusiastic about him at this number.
Yeah, no, I hear you on everything. So I do think that fight going the distance, I don't hate at +160. I think Noah pointed out. I don't see this being a very volatile fight. And the 10-year age difference, if it's going to not matter, it will not matter at heavyweight particularly. So I do think like Tybura also has looked like he's started to improve his conditioning a little bit and taken like his, strength and conditioning a little more serious as he's gotten later into his career. And his, haircut also is better. So that's got to mean something. Yeah, this fight, this card deserves an hour-long breakdown. That's what it's going to get. And I will quickly go through the Zhongli. I'll warn you right now, you should spend half the amount of money you usually spend on the Zhongli this week. It has 2 women fights in it. It has 2 heavyweight fights in it and a Danny Barlow fight at -380. So God have mercy on your soul if you're with me. But if you are, you're a real one. Stephanie Luciano starts out the Zhongli because we are sick. Janata Denise, come on down on the Zhongli. You're joining us at +180. Woo! Carol Rosa -220. Then we get onto the main card. Danny Barlow minus 380 because we don't care about the price of the money line on the Zhongli. And then plus 136, Marcin Tybura cashes out the Zhongli. That's the only way I will watch the main event is if the Zhongli is live. Otherwise, I don't have to watch that main event for the rest of my life. Plus 1851 on the Zhongli right now if you're betting it with me. So, Lou, what bets do you like going into this weekend, if any? Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Nothing.
That's
Soccer.
great.
That's it.
Yeah, this is a terrible card. I had a great time talking about it with you guys, though. Plus 2082 on bets 365, according to Mick. 2 cents. What bets do you like this weekend?
I have 3 bets. The first one I made was Jonathan Deniz plus 180. I made that earlier this week. It's now gotten back to plus 180. The pub parlay for me this week is Danny Barlow, Yusuf Zalal, and the Serghei. That is plus 185. And I tailed the Zhongli faithfully as always. Man, this has been a great time. Shout out to you guys. Everybody in the chat, y'all are the shit. Make sure y'all smash the like button for Aaron, though. Let's get at least 10 likes. But, man, this is a great time, and I just want to wish everybody best of luck. I will be pre-gaming on my channel as usual. I think I'm setting it for 2 o'clock, so if y'all want to, man, come through. I'll drop you the link and shoot the shit. But thanks again, Aaron. Best of luck, everybody. And, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, no, this was probably more fun than the card itself will be, frankly. Good information as always. Lucky. Any bets you like besides Yusuf Zalal minus 460 for 7 units?
Yeah, besides my 7-unit hammer play. That's a joke, by the way. Anybody joining late. I do not have 7 units on Yusuf Zalal minus 460. I don't have any bets on this card right now. I don't know if I will. I mean, I think Gutierrez was parlayable at like minus 250. Minus 600, not really. So Juan Cruz in the chat. This Rangers jersey is actually a blank I got at the Garden a long time ago. I think like 2014. I have another one I'll grab.
Yeah, thanks, Juan. Now we have
got the legend Matt Zuccarello on this one.
Good Lord.
You know, I miss him in the Rangers jersey, but yeah, I don't have anything on this card. I'm going to have a look at BKFC once, you know, the limits get a little bigger. I need them to get a little bit bigger still. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely the way it should be. Again, one more time on the disgusting Zhongli of the week. Stephanie Luciano, Carol Rosa, Janata Deniz, Danny Barlow, and Marcin Tybura if you're playing the Zhongli. We've hit 7 of them. We're looking for number 8. Lou, close us out.
Don't want to give too much away. If you know, you know, but I would strongly advise watching the happy hour on the way past that channel tomorrow at midnight. Yeah. Especially just watch the first 15 minutes. Don't care if you stay for the breakdowns. You'll really enjoy the first 15 minutes. That's all I need to say.
I will be up late at midnight for that. Mick staying up late with us tonight, not the normal morning listen for him. And then Aaron, don't you like to have options on the last leg by using Tybura? Are you? No, because the Zhongli doesn't work in terms of normal gambling logic. Like none of that it applies. Like all these, like what about the value? None of that applies. It is the most layman 5 money lines that I like to win. It's going to be. I want it to be plus 4 units, plus 1,000 or more. Yeah, so. It doesn't limit my options any because I don't hedge out of the Zhongli ever. It's not that kind of bet, but I definitely get the logic there. At least
there's your answer. What's up?
At least I can reload it if Luciano blows it once again here. So I am really willing to reload, but I don't hedge on the Zhongli myself. But you can do whatever you want with the Zhongli. This week's Zhongli, I would recommend not even playing. So good luck, everybody. This was a long enough breakdown for this shitty ass card. 305 next week is a little bit better, I guess, because it at least is semblance of a card. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Chat was awesome tonight. Shout out to Mick. Shout out to Big Show. Shout out to Juan. Shout out to Coins Only fan / Justin DeLagus. Shout out to Mushroom for dipping and Shout out to you all. Peace out.